Hello, everyone. Chris Sawyer here. I am happy to be the honorable host of this amazing event today. We are celebrating the greatness of the Rutherford Dust Society and Premier Napa as a group. This is going to be a fun event. Premier Napa Valley is a wonderful, wonderful thing for members of the trade to be involved in. And just because we did it at a different time of the year, we've got all sorts of people across the nation involved in it. And so we're going to make it extra fun for you today. So obviously we are going to be celebrating the greatness of the Rutherford appellation here in the middle of Napa Valley. I'll tell you more about that in a moment and the details on this, but I want to introduce my great co-hosts with me as well. So to my left, or yes, it's to my left, the great Matt Brain. And Matt is with Alpha Omega Winery, the great winery that is actually where we're at right now, having a wonderful time. To his left is Todd Graff, the wonderful winemaker from Frank Family Vineyards. Anyone ever hear of Frank Family? I think so. A lot of people have. To my right over here, another fabulous honorable person, Michael Scholes. Michael, hello, amazing Australian that's come here quite a while ago and learned everything about winemaking and taught us all lessons at St. Superi Winery, one of the other great ones. Sarah Fowler on his right, the great Sarah Fowler from Peju Winery. And we can't say anything more than Inglenook Winery. Anyone hear of that? This is the great Chris Phelps, the winemaker from Inglenook Winery, the one that the great piece of property that Francis Ford Coppola started purchasing in 1975. Believe it or not, last year was the 45-year anniversary of that first purchase. Wow, here we are today. So we thought we'd make it really super fun for you and kind of go into each one of these wines. They're all special lots. They come in different sizes. Most of them are 5 cases, but a few of them are 3 cases. And this is all to benefit Napa Valley Vintners and the organization as a whole. And so we're really going to go into more detail, but to make it super fun and to make it super applicable to all of our lives, we're going to do some pairings of movies with each one of these wines. We've had a blast getting to pick the ones out. We had to go through each one of these wines, really analyze them as a team, go through it, give me the opportunity to really think it out as far as my movie pairings, which I'm very well known for. I'm not just the sommelier to the stars, but people have also, and that's all you guys, of course, but people have also known me quite a bit for my pairings of movies and wine. I've been published in, USA Today, Esquire, Red Book, Hollywood Reporter, and everything based on those things. And I loved it how Sarah from the organization said, Chris, I love that idea. And I got the go ahead, so let's do it. We're going to show you clips from the movies. We're going to talk about these wines. We're going to get really into it. And so we're going to have some fun today. But the most important thing is I want you guys to learn about the Rutherford appellation, because you can never learn enough. I'll be the first to say it. All these guys will be right there with me saying that, you know what, we learn every vintage is different. We learn everything is special. And we've got it right behind us, just so you know, we are in Rutherford, and this is the Rutherford bench. What we're going to talk about today is different samples from different parts of it too. So we're going to take you on a tour of Rutherford, and it's going to invite you to come here to Rutherford as soon as possible, of course, now that we're in a better year, 2021, and get it going. But without further amici want to get into this first one. So I'm going to be introducing this one. This is Amici Vineyards. This is Amici, Amici Cellars from the Morosoli Vineyard. I guess I just wanted to jump right to Morosoli because I love this vineyard so much. But the fact is that when we start this conversation about what makes Rutherford so cool, we start with the conversation piece of the Rutherford dust. What is the dust? Well, we still don't know, but it's being defined. We know that Andrei Chelichev called it that originally. He meant a little nuggets of information that he gave us is a little bit of road tar, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of dust. And that's where we're stuck with it. And we keep trying to define these things. So I thought this would be a really fun one to kind of pair up with a fun movie. I'll tell you about that in a moment. But let's talk a little bit about the Morosoli family. So Morosoli family purchased this piece of property. We are talking about due west of where we're at right now. This is on the Rutherford bench, which comes off the Mayacamas Mountains. Beautiful piece of property. The family purchased it in about 1900. So we're talking about over 100 years of family ownership there. Great Swiss-Italian family that came here. This lot is our lot, this lot 4. And this is 5 cases of this wine. Smelling it here. Beautiful delight. Little, I like that Mexican baking chocolate in here. Blackberry kind of pastry kind of note on the nose. Oh my God, that's so delicious. Blue fruits, black fruits, and that little touch of dust, right? So this wine was made by Tony Biaggi. He just recently won Winemaker of the Year for the Venice media. Thank you for that. And thank you for being you, Tony. So we're going to go into a little bit more here as we talk about the movie clip that's going to roll. So my pairing with this was obviously Ford to Ferrari. If you know the Morosoli family, they love their tractors. They cannot go as fast as the cars in this movie, but what they achieve in the end is really where we're at. So enjoy this clip, but just as we kind of go along, obviously this stars Matt Damon, Chris Bale, and imagine when you're going into this, the fact is that there's this one scene with the Coca-Cola. Just imagine this glass of wine in your hand instead of that Coca-Cola. Well, that was lot 1. And once again, this is Amici Cellars. This is that amazing Cabernet Sauvignon 2017 from Morosoli Vineyard. So moving on, we're talking about movies, right? So we got to talk about Francis Ford Coppola. And this is going to be right here introducing lot 57, The Hearth, with Chris Phelps.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I'm here to introduce our wine, which is called The Hearth. I'll try to explain to you why, but I'm here to give you the dirty lowdown, and it really is all about dirt. Let's start with the Inglenook Estate, where Cabernet has been growing, as far as we know, continuously since 1879. And Inglenook is 1,700 contiguous acres. That's 1,700, right smack in the middle of Napa Valley, and it hugs the west side of the valley, the Mayacamas. And we have, the Coppola family, they call themselves the caretakers, even though they are actually the owners as well. We have within this, the 235 organically farmed acres, we have 120 growing areas. And we have a full 1 mile stretch of the Rutherford Bench, which is 1/3 of the Rutherford Bench. So it's a big place. But the vineyard is the center of everything. It's our hearth. It's where the light and the warmth is of the estate. And everything we do revolves around it. And when you combine an outstanding vintage like 2019, which makes me think of 1991, 1994 in Napa, not warm growing seasons, not overly hot, where we could get gradual ripening for our Cabernet. This is just like that. And it really is all about the dirt,
Okay. In the movie pairing.
Right, of course. But this disc running through the heart of one of our best vineyard blocks. I took this video two weeks ago, and you can see how dusty it is. And so that's Rutherford Dust. I mean, you can't deny that. I was actually just trying not to fall into the disc. But it's, while we acknowledge the physical dust, for me, Rutherford Dust, fairy dust, it's actually, it explains why we have this talc-like silky texture in our wines. And the 13% Cabernet Franc in this Cabernet blend is really what dials that in. Aromatically, it's wonderful, but also adds this silky component. So this wine, The Hearth 2019, is smooth, elegant, passionate, innovative, sensuous. And to me, you can't help but think of this movie that Chris is going to introduce, if I can be quiet for a minute. But it's 60 bottles, 45 liters, about 12 gallons. That's all there is. So I hope you're going to take advantage of that. And I would just like to raise a toast to Hearth and Home, to dirt and wine, things we treasure here in Rutherford.
Cheers.
Here, here.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So this movie that we've decided to do, I mean, hey, we've got a lot to choose from Francis Ford Coppola. We didn't think the trilogy was the right thing to do. Apocalypse Now, definitely not that. But this wine really dances in your mouth. So we came up with the Cotton Club, the original version, which came out in 1985, actually 84. This was a great movie. They've made another version of this now. But you know, when you get into this and you look at Gregory Hines and his dancing skills, it's so great. But this dances on your mouth. Let's jazz it up. Let's get this lot. You know, buy it. It's wonderful, and you can watch this movie too. Fantastic stuff, and we really have enjoyed working together, Chris and I, the crisscross right here. Enjoy this. So 5 cases in this lot right here, and in this scene is the brothers. Enjoy.
Lot 57.
Lot 57. Fantastic stuff. So I hope you enjoyed that little tidbit there. And remember, Francis Ford Coppola also made you know, American Graffiti, one of my favorite ones, also the Conversation, so many other movies, but that's a good one to watch again is the Cotton Club. So moving on, we have the great Sarah Fowler. And when we talk about Sarah Fowler, I want to say one thing about her real quick is that she also just won, and the winery just won, Péju Winery just won Best Cabernet Sauvignon for her reserve, and also Cabernet Franc at the American Fine Wine competition that I just judged this week. It's amazing. Congratulations, Sarah Fowler. This is a great wine. This is lot 91, and this is called The Main Event. Tell everyone about it, Sarah.
That's right. Well, first off, I want to just say, like, how fortunate and lucky I think we all are being here in Rutherford. I was just figuring out that this will be my 24th year making wine in Rutherford specifically, and my 30th wine in total. And I think that the individuals that make wine here, that grow grapes here, are some of the most fantastical people. I am very fortunate and love being part of the Rutherford AVA. We're really lucky. We really are technically like at the heart of the Napa Valley. We've been saying that since day one, since the AVA started back in, gosh, it was like early 1993, something like that. So we've been doing it for a long time. We were one of the first AVAs, if not the first AVA in the region. And I think that's really important to note. This wine, the main event, we had this like spectacular like concept of, you know, of what we were wanting to do. And maybe next year when we can do it live, we'll do a part 2. But this is 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. It is grown on estate. It's 100% organic. The Péju family purchased the Rutherford estate back in 1983. I've been fortunate enough to be able to make wine there for the past 15 years, 16 harvests coming up. This is about, let's see, 26 months on oak, 100% of, trying to remember the percentage of French oak, but it's all French oak, and it's 100% made with love. We are fortunate enough to have some alluvial fans on our vineyard property. So what does that mean? It is some gravel and sandy and loam products. Yeah, I hope you guys really, really enjoy it. I love this wine, and I hope that you will as well. Cheers.
The thing I would like to say about this wine too, so now we're kind of down here, valley floor. So we're kind of looking at Highway 29, and if you guys know where Péju is, it's right here, just down the road from where we're at here at Alpha Omega. Fantastic place to be, but you know, it's a little bit different down here. We talked more about alluvial fans and how the old riverbed was here. So it's gravelly soils, but it's also got that kind of dusty kind of parts that really kind of come off the valley floor, where it's a little bit flatter here. Sarah, what's a good advantage to that?
Well, I think so. For us, it's really interesting. So there's 30 acres on the valley floor. You're correct. And in our 30 acres, we actually have very different soil types. And so our Cabernet Sauvignon, where this comes from, that is closest to Highway 29, actually has a very different flavor profile than the cab that we have planted back by the river. So we get so many nuances and differences, even in our small-ish compared to Inglenook over here's large parcel. But there are so many differences. And what's really interesting, I think, about the Rutherford appellation is there's so many different and diverse microclimates. So then even in our own personal vineyards, that we can have diversity and change and different flavor profiles. So, and then of course it's very dusty, which is kind of fun and fabulous.
Yeah, the other thing is right behind us here, there's about, it's almost 4 miles from here to the end of the appellation going this way. So it's 6 miles across the valley floor, and from the top of the Mayacamas
No,
over
no,
there
no.
to the Vaca over there. What's that?
What's two from side to side?
Two from side to side, four on the valley floor. Sorry, let me be
That's okay.
corrected by her, and I will be. But the fact is that we are in the middle of the valley, and that's the most important thing, is that this is the sweet spot of Napa Valley, and it's why it became one of the first appellations. It's really, the cool breezes come from both sides, and that's why it's special here, and why, you know, George de Latour came here, and the Niebaum family came here and said, this is the place, we're going to do it here. And so I feel like this was why there's a lot of personalities in this. There's a lot of things that we do when we talk about movies. And one thing I do want to kind of get you, how does Chris think of these movies? I don't know. The thing is that why is a wine great? It's because it has these kinds of things that open up in the glass. So when you watch a movie and you sit down for an hour and a half, and the wine continues to get better, the characters get better if it's a good movie. You know, that's the whole idea here, is that character development, not only on the screen, but inside your glass. And this is why I chose a special one for you. None other than Dr. No. Yeah, James Bond, you heard it right here. Dr. No. And what we really liked about this, Sarah, was the kind of the allspice, kind of almost Jamaican character of this, that with the wood. Yeah, look at her moves going. She's got the little Jamaican moves going. One of the classics and the first of the James Bond series. And don't forget where Ian Fleming wrote most of these movies was in Jamaica. Fantastic movie, one of the best sets. And boy, did James Bond become something to all of us, you know, and all the characters, all of those things, just amazing. Enjoy. All right, that's lot 91. That is 5 cases of this amazing wine. Sarah, thank you so much. Love your enthusiasm, and be sure and stay till the end, because you're gonna see something we've got surprise at the end that Sarah actually will be introducing. And do not leave us, because you got to see what Sarah did. Moving on to our next amazing flight here. So we've got lot 115. This is actually a very interesting one. Andrew Jackson Dollarhide, St. Supery Winery. Mike, you've been here for a long time, since the 90s. You know, you've seen how this area has developed. You've also seen how that hillside has developed. And this is from that special vineyard that's on this hillside. Just because he's an Aussie, we really did want to make this pairing Mad Max, but it just didn't work. Just so he could wear the clothes and everything, but we just couldn't go there. Instead, I chose a very interesting movie that's kind of a psychological thriller and a cowboy movie in that, and that's High Noon. So if you guys like Gary Cooper, you like all these amazing people that come out, and especially Grace Kelly. I mean, come on, one of the most beautiful women that's ever lived on this planet. But it's got a rustic thing to it. And tell us a little bit about this this amazing wine that we're going to be tasting while we're watching this clip.
Thanks, Chris. So look, yeah, we're just down the road here next to Sarah, but we have this excellent ranch called the Dollarhide Ranch, and it has a storied history after a guy called Andrew Jackson Dollarhide. So this lot 115 for the Premier Napa Valley of this year is the 2019 Andrew Jackson Dollarhide Cabernet Sauvignon. Pretty cool wine. Andrew Jackson Dollarhide, well, he was this kind of a he was a cowboy. He's a cattle rancher. He was a horse trader. He actually traded horses to the 49ers during the gold rush. So quite a colorful character. And this property is a bit like that too. It's a super colorful property. And, you know, you see on the soils, as you see in some of the soil samples in front of us, quite rugged mountain sort of soils. A lot of fractured soil below, a little shallow topsoil loam. Really gives character to these wines, a real mountain feel, that sort of dark quality, but very structured feel, a lot of textural qualities. And so it brings that sort of rugged approach, a bit like, you know, the cowboy and Andrew Jackson Dollarhide. So it's also grown on some of our oldest vines. Some of these vines are north of 35 years of age, coming to 40 years of age. You know, an old vine, you can't plant an old vine. They're a little bit magic. And so they create wines that have a little integrity, while structured, some good finesse about them as well, but they'll age well, they'll they'll really do very, very well. So terrific wine. And this, this particular wine shows those sort of nice dark qualities, those nice dark characters in the wine, the blackberries, the black plums, a little thread of raspberry in there makes it a little interesting. The flavors have those dark fruits as well. Nice structured black plum, a little espresso going on, really terrific wine, and a really cool sort of blend, because we've got a little blender going on there that sort of is about this movie a bit.
Yeah, and I like, if you guys like Howell Mountain wines, this is kind of our version of that, because we're really looking at high elevation. During the day it's really hot down here in the valley, but it actually cools down quite a bit, so the swing is pretty big. But up there it's actually more moderate at night. It's very balanced, and the long growing season up there, but also rugged terrain. So very interesting. So let's check out this little clip from High Noon.
Come on out. Come on, your friend here will get it the way Pierce did. I'll come out. Let her go. As soon as you walk through that door. Come on, I'll hold my fire. Okay, you babes.
Hope you guys enjoyed that, because we did. You look good. You guys look good too. And I love that hat. UC
Rebel.
Davis, go Aggies. Never forget that they are Cowboys as well. Anyways, I'm going to talk like this now because, I feel very manly. That was an awesome lot. Thank you very much. Once again, that was lot 115. That is the Dollarhide, Andrew Jackson Dollarhide Ranch lot from St. Superi. Thank you, kind sir.
Thank you very much.
I like wearing hats.
Gary Cooper.
Cheers.
Yep. So moving on to our great host, hostess with mostest, Michelle Haggett. Thank you for having us here. And also, Matt, thank you for being our host as well. This is a great place, Alpha Omega. We love it. You're right here, kind of centered. You're a little bit on the St. Helena side of the appellation, just before the kind of cutoff comes, and we go into the town of St. Helena. So we've got Yountville Grill down there, and we've got all the restaurants in St. Helena right here when you come visit us in this area anytime. But the most important thing, I think, is just you've got 3 different vineyards in this blend. Tell us all a little bit about this lot 2, and this is the DTT.
Right. So yeah, this is a 3 vineyard blend that we, the winemaking team, put together. And the DTT stands for direct to trade, which is kind of what we're doing here at Premier Napa Valley, making these amazing wines for our trade partners. So these 3 vineyards, we actually sat down with a number of different clones and lots that we produced out of these vineyards in 2019, an absolutely exceptional vineyard. And we sat down and we wanted to blend a wine that really kind of encompassed the best of Napa Valley in that vintage, but also showing what we do here at Alpha Omega, which is making dense, lush wines. And we do a lot of barrel fermentation here, where we actually ferment the red wine in the barrel. So it's kind of a labor of love, a lot of work to do that. But the D in DTT stands for Drew Vineyard, which is actually up on the top of Mount Veeder on the north side. The first T stands for Tench Vineyard, which is over on the east side of Oakville. And we brought in both of those different vineyard sites to really frame our fantastic Rutherford vineyard site called Thomas, which is actually on the west side of the appellation up in the foothills. And Thomas Vineyard is a really, really beautiful site, a lot of aspect to the vineyard. And it's kind of those looser, newer soils that are actually over time still kind of falling down the vineyard. So it's very loose and well-spaced soils, so very deep rooted. And what we did when we wanted to sit down and make this wine is we looked at a couple of different clones, and we just wanted to blend something up that really represented our style of winemaking: dense, lush, a wine that is really showy and kind of sexy now in its youth, but a wine that's going to hold up really well over time. So I just absolutely love Chris's movie matching for this wine. I think it's a really appropriate match.
Well, to be flat out honest with you, I just think this wine's sexy. It's really good. I mean, it's got so much, so much character to it. And in this case, I felt it has 3 characters to it, 3 main characters, and that being the movie Chicago.
Yes.
Anyone see this? Academy Award-winning best film. Here it goes right now. Catherine Zeta-Jones, Renee Zellweger, Queen Latifah. Check it out.
Billy can fix it.
My client feels that it was the combination of liquor and jazz which led to her downfall.
But in a city where everyone loves a legend,
Loving this wine, by the way. It goes
there's
great with this
only
movie,
one.
doesn't it?
Right?
You know, the great thing too that I would say, just as we watch the clip, is that one of the reasons I chose it too is not only because they won the best film of the year, and Catherine Zeta-Jones won best supporting actress, but also one thing that's really great is with the critics' choice is that it won best assemblage, best overall cast. And so I feel like these three characters, and you got to add in Richard Gere, who's the guy, you know, in the main guy in the movie too.
Whom I remind you of.
You are the Richard
Right,
Gere. That's
right.
what I'm trying to say here,
Mhm.
is that Matt is our Richard Gere. And this is good. We're lucky to have you here.
Thank you
Good
so
man.
much. Thank you so much.
This is an amazing lot. Once again, that's lot 2. This is, remember, you're supporting Rutherford Dust. You're supporting everyone in Napa Valley when you buy this lot. But man, this is a damn good lot. This
5
is-
cases produced, not another drop.
Nope. And this is 22 months in barrel, 70% barrel fermented.
That's right.
It's got the assemblage, the core of the Rutherford with the little bits of from outside the area. So
Yes.
you're getting really a touch of Napa Valley with a Rutherford twist. Love that movie. Please go out and rent that movie or watch it again because it's so great, and buy some of these wines because these Alpha Omegas rock.
Thank you.
Moving on with rockin' people. Here's Todd Graff. Todd Graff, Frank Family Vineyards, one of the great producers of Napa Valley and definitely of Rutherford. Todd and I both grew up in Petaluma, California. We're great Petalumans, go Pets, you know. And this is lot 44. This is Winston Hill, block 5, the Heart block. And let me just say this real quick. See right behind me, everyone? See that hillside right back there? That is Winston Hill. And we've got a little clip to show of this as well. Todd, tell us a little bit about why this really works for you guys. You make a lot that just say Napa Valley on the label, and this one does not. This says this is all about that vineyard up there.
Correct. Thanks, Chris. And to be hanging out with good friends on a Thursday afternoon, drinking some Rutherford wine. So
Yeah.
our goal for this lot was to do singular focus purity of Cabernet. So what I'm doing is picking one lot of Cabernet, one block, and this is a volcanic outcropping. It's hard to see, but we're the eastern boundary of the Rutherford appellation, rising up from the base up until Pritchard Hill. So we're right there in the middle, all rocky. You can look at some of the soil samples here, baseball-sized stones throughout. So very volcanic soils. Self-regulating vineyard. It just can't grow that much. So it's planted about the 90s. So it's about 30 years old right now. It's the flagship of Rich and Leslie Frank's original holdings here, and it's our best vineyard. So we try to do that. Aged for about 22 months in a French oak barrel, a small cooper located right between the city of Bordeaux and the town of Saint-Emilion. I love those barrels, so we select that, stayed there for 22 months. I know Chris has a film to go with this, but started thinking a counter-intuitive, not intuitive, but a counter option is The Lion King also was under Rich Frank's management at Disney. And this wine will show some elegance and power, and it's kind of a cub right now, but it'll be really roaring in 15 years. So lot 44, Rutherford, hope you enjoy it.
And to be really honest, the reason I chose it to be Beauty and the Beast for the pairing, another Disney film, and once again, Rich Frank has worked with Disney for so long. He also did so much with Happy Days and Golden Girls and all these great shows that we watched, but the movies were the big deal. And Beauty and the Beast is really what you're looking at behind me. It's a beautiful setting, but it's beastly up there, man. These vines have to grow in really rough soils, but that's why they struggle. But in the end, they come out as princes and queens and all of these great things. And that's Beauty and the Beast. Watch this scene and we'll talk more.
As the sun will rise.
What I love about that is, you know who sings that song? 1991 is when that film was made. Angela Lansbury, of all people. That's who's your singer right there. So it's not only that, it's casting. It's great clones of Cabernet that you've got growing up there. Some interesting things. How is it different from growing up there on the hillside versus down here on the valley floor?
For our vineyards, because we do have a vineyard right across the road on the valley floor. For us, it's night and day. Again, the rocky, it's pure rocky soils, self-regulating vines. Down in the valley floor, a little more fertile, a little more clay, a little more loam, and needs a little more attention. And that's another thing that we should all raise our glass to the men and women that help farm these vineyards. So it's great. We wouldn't be here without them. So these wines taste delicious because of them also. So
I've been to the vertical on this, where we went back the past 20 years and really going over how this wine is made. And I do want to say this, like, Beauty and the Beast to me is really all about this. Right now, this wine will be great with steaks. It'll be great with bigger foods, but it's going to turn into more of a prince with time. And I've seen this with these wines that come from this hillside. This is a single block in that whole thing. So it's not the whole Winston Hill. It's just one block inside there. What do you like so much about that one block?
It's funny. I can't describe why, but every year blind tasting that, it's our favorite block every year. And it was planted in the 90s. There wasn't a huge, it's on 110R, it's clone 7, it's location.
That's amazing.
And it is because, and that's the answer, because it's so good. You could plant that same combination someplace else and it wouldn't do the same. So it's the dirt.
It's the dirt. It's all about the dirt, you guys. So in this case, it's about the Rutherford dust. And don't forget that. So as we get back to another great lot here, this is Quintessa Lot 97. Yes, Quintessa is part of Rutherford, you guys. Look at where we're going. You've tasted so many of these wines through the years, and you didn't realize that they're all in Rutherford. Indeed, they are. And this is such an amazing area. And Quintessa is a very interesting thing. The Huneeus family is originally from Chile. And this lot to me is something that's really special. This is a lot that is completely based on Carmenere. Carmenere back in the 1880s was the grape of Bordeaux. And there's hardly any of it here. But how did it somehow get in Quintessa? Well, that's a good question. So back in the 1890s, when the phylloxera hit Bordeaux, this wine, before that, the wine was really very well known. The grape itself is low yields, high, big fruit, deep flavors with rich, natural richness, and a little bit of herbal extract to it too, that just added a lot more dimension to these wines from Bordeaux. When that happened, the farmers said, you know what, it's a great grape, but it's hard to grow. Somehow it snuck its way around the Cape and went up to Chile. And to be really honest, it was forgotten for a long time. So that's why this is called the lost variety. And this block is a very special block. And this is the Huneeus family, when they started this winery here. In 1989, they started going organic. They started bringing up cuttings from Chile. And one of those cuttings was this Carmenere grape. And Carmenere, to me, has always been great. I've been to Chile 3 times. I love this grape, but you just don't find enough of it here. And this is that one chance to really get your hands on some. This is a small lot. Let's see, this is, we've got 5 cases made out of this. And there's 5 acres planted in Napa Valley of this grape, and they own 3 of them. The cuttings came from their properties down there. Actually, the oldest property of Carmenere in Chile, brought up here, planted on the Quintessa property right here in Rutherford. And really what I get out of it it's such a dense nose on it. It's so beautiful and pretty on the nose, but I think that the flavor profile is really what really lures you in. It's got this herbal extract, and as I brought up, and it's really something more like a sage kind of character, and it's more like these kinds of spices that are subtle, but the body is big and it's robust. But it's got that elegance to it too, and it does have a little bit of the other grape varieties from Bordeaux in it, but the core is definitely Carmenere, and this is an amazing one that I decided to pair with an amazing book that came out in 1935, and that is The Treasury of the Sierra Madres. And so when you watch this movie with Bogart, it's a really special movie because it really goes down to, like, it's as close as we get to the Southern Hemisphere, looking for gold in that case. And in this case, we're looking for gold inside the glass. Check this out, you guys. Nice little clip here.
Right here in this rock. And look here.
Also known as Merlot.
The gold shines and glitters on it. Struck it, Kurt. Look. The looks of things. Struck it rich. Look, all over here. Here we've got what do you call a mother lode.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little clip. People say that everyone, the critics didn't really get this movie in the beginning, but now all the modern critics are going, this might have been Bogart's their favorite movie he ever did. And I think that that's a really a tribute to him and to why this wine is so great. It's a little hidden gem. And to be really honest, I mean, there's an herbal floral extraction to it, but that scene that you just saw is called Fool's Gold, which is great because for a long time, and Sarah brought this up, they called it Merlot, because they didn't know what it was. The leaves did not match the grapes. And so finally a leaf expert came to Chile and they said, this is not Merlot that you guys are growing. I mean, if you remember back in the 80s when Merlot became so fashionable and a lot of it was coming from Chile, guess what? You weren't just drinking Merlot at all. You were drinking Merlot, which means it had Carmenere in it. So here's your opportunity to taste really high class Carmenere, some of the best done in the world, just right here from Rutherford, of all places. It's a great wine, and once again, 5 cases available. This is lot 97, Lost Variety. What did you guys think of this last wine?
Lovely.
I love that
Perfect
savory
wine.
quality. I
Yeah.
think that's, and it's very plush and deep, broad, but also very deep.
It's got a real juicy approach about it, hasn't it? A little spice, bit of a juicy approach. Pretty interesting, really cool wine.
Before we shut off, let's just say one more word about each wine. I mean, Chris, I really enjoyed that Inglenook selection. I feel like that was really something special that you did. I mean, tell everyone why they should buy this.
Well, it would have been really easy to make a big wine.
Yeah.
And I think probably my fellow winemakers here would agree. It's actually pretty easy. Pick really late, extract as much as you can, make this. We think bigger is better, but in this case, we wanted to show restraint.
Yeah. And
I think it's 13% Cabernet Franc, 8% Petit Verdot. We really tried to make something that was complex, nuanced, and again, to the Cotton Club Encore that Francis Coppola produced, I think really shows that. It's the elegance, and maybe it's because what's pleasing more to me personally, but I think I appreciate elegance. Maybe as I get older, I appreciate elegance and nuance more than power sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's lot 57, The Hearth from Inglenook. Sarah Fowler, tell us why we can't resist this next wine.
Well, because it's fabulous and delicious, and it's made with love.
The main event. Come on.
That aside, I'm just going to say, when I was going through and tasting these wines and listening to all the little bits and pieces, I have to say that I really do feel like these wines, because I know like pretty much everyone here really, really well. And some people I've known for several of you for over 20 years. And I really do think the wines like exude the personalities. I mean, like across the board, and there's like some fun, even whether it's the descriptors or like the wines in there, there's something to be said with, there's terroir, but there's also like a little personality from winemaking, anyway. So I'm finding that really interesting, going back and going like, oh, aha, It does not surprise me that your wine tastes like this, and it's the restraint, and it doesn't all of the different tastes anyway. So it's fun and interesting. Going back to Péjus, well, it's 100% Cab, it's 100% Rutherford. It is super classic, and yeah, it really is made with love. I think I feel very fortunate and so lucky that I get to do this and have been doing it for this long, and that I get to hang out with all of you. So thank you. And yeah, please purchase. All of this goes to a good cause. So,
and that's lot 91, the main event. Sarah, one thing that I get from this too is there's a cranberry, there's a lot of red fruit in here too. There's really some real things that, like from the mountain, or I'll just talk about the Morasoli real quick, up there on the hill. This is the Amici lot 4 that I'm talking about, the Morasoli. It's up there against the hillside, a couple miles right up there. But it's different, and we're tasting things that are very dynamic. This is a rustic style, because look at all the leaves that blow down there. And I mean, it's all the hillside kind of coming down on the Mayacamas, and you're more open. You're expressive, and yet the flavors are so dynamically different, and it's only like a mile and a half away from you.
Well, Chris Morasoli, one of the
Up
families,
and coming stars,
absolutely, and Tony Biaggi. If you've met them both, you'll understand why the wine is the way that it is. Two fabulous individuals, grower and winemaker combined. It makes it super delicious. The Amici is amazing.
Yeah.
Owners of Amici are amazing. I mean, so like there's just so much combined and interweaving that goes in behind it.
Really
So,
good use of oak on your wine.
Yeah.
It's very integrated, and there's a nice sweetness. So really good job.
well, thank
Yeah.
you. I'm like, I love oak. I'm like, if well,
She
that's a
likes
whole
oak.
nother
She's good with
discussion.
oak. She's very good with oak.
Spice
And I'll
up.
just say one more thing for the Morasoli too. Shout out to our other great founding member of the Rutherford Dust Society, and that being Joel Aiken. He's the one that introduced me to this vineyard originally, and you'll be surprised how many people put Morasoli vineyard designate on their label. So this is the lot 4 one that I poured and talked about at the beginning of the show. Mike, let's talk about the St. Superi one more time. Here we got lot 115. Andrew Jackson Dollarhide. Dollarhide to me is what your signature is. It's always like you have great Napa Valley wines, and then you have the ones that just say Dollarhide, and that's from your estate property.
From this estate property, that's right. But listen, just before I get into that, I concur with everyone here about the diversity and what we see in front of us. All of these wines here are sort of Rutherford wines, but they all have their unique character, because every one of these winemakers has a little vision about what they're doing and what have you. But that comes back to a common place, and that is place. And where your wine is from is important, because that is the character of the wine, that is the personality of the wine. But yeah, the Dollarhide, unique wine. I mean, it's a mountain estate, it's high elevation, it's rugged, it's rustic. This wine's a blend. So it's a Cabernet Sauvignon, but we have a little Petit Verdot, right? And that's big and powerful. It's already a powerful wine because it's a mountain Cabernet. But then we've also got a thread of Malbec, hence your movie. Grace Kelly comes in there. It's a little more graceful, brings a little charm to the finish of the wine. So a little Malbec in there, but it is a Cabernet. It's a pretty serious Cabernet. It's a fun wine, like all of these exciting wines. So, it has some opportunity as we go forward in the future here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Matt, I mean, I loved your wine. I mean, we got to taste it a week or so ago, and I really fell in love with it. I just like how it's the 3 parts all come together.
Yeah.
What are your closing remarks on that and how great it is?
I just think it really represents what we love to do here at Alpha Omega. To me, the Alpha and the Omega with our style is really power and elegance at the same time. And that's what we're going for with what we do here at Alpha Omega. And it's what we're trying to do with this wine here, our DTT, our combination of 3 vineyards, Drew up on Mount Veeder, Tench on the east side of Oakville, and then obviously framing our beautiful fruit from our Rutherford vineyard, Thomas, up on the highlands there. And I just think that it's a really complete wine. I think it's a showy wine in its youth, but I can tell that it's built for aging. And I think it's a really, really great offering for our auction here. Just 5 cases produced, and it's going to really show well for them, I think.
Yeah, that's lot 2, Alpha Omega DTT. Todd, you know how much I love this Winston Hill, but this is special block. It's special. I mean, you're special. It's special. Leslie and Rich are special. everyone should have a bottle of this.
He's not called Totterific for nothing.
Yeah, you're Totterific.
I want to lead with what Sarah said. They all have a personality. So this wine is definitely smart, charming, youthful, fun, humble. It follows the winemakers. But this is all about, again, we're this elegance, power, and length and longevity. All these wines are going to hang out for a long time. So enjoy them.
I think that's a kind of a great closing one too, just because I think that really what we're talking about here is we all care about these wines. We actually like each other a lot and we can hang out anytime. And that's the fun factor here in Rutherford is I love working with these guys. I'm honored to be a part of this amazing premier Napa lot and the set of lots that are involved in this. I'm always proud to be there on being the moderator of great panels for them in this organization for a long time. I'm also happy to support Napa Valley Vintners and growers. This is the Vintners are the real deal, and this is part of it. And that's why buying these lots is helping them. It's helping us, and it's giving you something you can really tell stories about, like we just told you, and to watch these movies and or put them away for a while and really do that. And I want to thank Michelle once again for being our great hostess. I see her in the back there. But we can't just end it on that note, because we want you here more often and we want you to be energized to get you there. And Sarah Fowler did something special for you to encourage you to come here and to feel the feel of Napa Valley and to really do it right, as we do as friends and as hosts of yours when you come here. Sarah, tell us a little bit about this.
Oh, I will, and I'm super excited. First off, I would say if you want to be part of this cool kids club, Rutherford Dust, we do an amazing job. This group we really are friends. We really do hang out together. We enjoy each other's company. You can be part of the Rutherford Dust Society if you want. I'm a board member. I feel very fortunate. You guys can come. We do great events. All you have to do is log on. One of the things that we did when we were brainstorming about what can we do and set ourselves apart. And I will say that I've been part of the Rutherford Dust Society since the late 90s. And we really wanted to kind of reinvent ourselves, if you will, and really want to kind of go we're fun and we have been here and we know what we're talking about and we have an amazing appellation. However, we wanted to be what can we do? What does that look like? So during COVID, I watched a video sometime in February, March of 2020, and it was the Jerusalem Dance Challenge. And I watched the very first one that came out, and I kept getting these things popped up on my videos and feed, and I thought everyone was watching them. Well, this is a dance challenge that has been going around the globe, so all over, international primarily. In the US, we see very little, but I will say that the Rutherford Dust Society, this group here, has we're the first ones that I'm aware of in the United States from a wine organization that has done this dance challenge. And it is super exciting. We got basically most of the board, not all of them, a lot of our members to get together and do this dance. So I would love to throw it out there to a dance challenge. It could be another AVA in Napa. It could be an AVA in another area. We'd love to have you do a little dance challenge. We take you on. For those of you who would like to take us on, actually, there's the Rutherford Chili Ball. It's the first Sunday in August. We will be having it.
I'll be there. For
Oh,
sure.
good. All right. So we're going to teach you the dance, watch the video, learn the dance, come out, challenge us, have some fun. And thank you so much for joining in and tuning in. We appreciate it. Cheers. Some dancing. I feel like we're.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukho. awukulana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami ilondoloze 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 zungangishilana ilondoloze 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 zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami